The mist closed around me like a chill, opaque shroud. It had no form, yet blinded me with grey shadow, ethereal wisps swirling as if lit from within. A cold, clammy scent passed lazily through the air, disorientating me. I couldn't turn back. There was nothing for me there. I must keep going. I walked on, slowly stumbling through the intangible, infinite veil. A shape formed before me in the endless grey, indistinct but moving closer. Now it was a silhouette, tall and approaching fast, faster than any normal man could walk. I felt an urgent pull to move forward, to meet it, but every instinct in my soul told me that would end in disaster. I rallied my strength and veered away, resisting the pull, desperate to escape a terrible fate. Now! "Morning, Gwinny," said the postman, barely missing me as he bicycled out of the mist. "Can't see your hand in front of your face this morning. How do, Lily?" he added to the elderly Jack Russell Terrier I held on a taut lead as she continued pulling towards him. Whether to steal a fuss or bite his ankles, I couldn't be sure, hence my keeping her away. "It really is quite a fog," I said inanely, as if he hadn't noticed. "Aye, and'll likely stick, tends to around here." With that he was gone. I stepped back onto the path, eager to take Lily home. This Draculania business was messing with my head. I was in Yorkshire for a film role, my biggest part since re-emerging from retirement. I'd given up acting at 50 to look after my father, who was becoming very ill. When he died a decade later, I discovered that we'd collectively burnt through his entire savings, which weren't inconsiderable. He left me a house in Chelsea, in theory worth plenty, but in practice falling to pieces and needing lots of expensive work before anyone would consider buying it. My own flat was being rented by a young couple who'd recently had their first child. I didn't have the heart to evict them and take it back. So back to work I went, despite my grey hair and failing joints, and began scrabbling around for roles. I was helped in this endeavour by my best friend Tina, a more famous and successful actress than I would ever be, who put in a good word every now and then, and my new agent, Boston Jim Austen, who had a mind as shrewd as his Brummie accent. It was Boston Jim who'd put me forward for this part in Draculania, a mid-budget, modern take on Stoker's classic. The take was a full gender swap, so I played Dr. Jacqueline Seward, protégée of Dr. Abigail Van Helsing and friend to Lady Godalming. You get the idea? I was playing 10 years younger than my age, but that was simple enough with makeup and a wig. It was a decent screenplay, very atmospheric, hence my phantasmagoria on the moors that morning. Lily, the Jack Russell Terrier, so eager to greet the postman emerging from the mist, belonged to the actress Viv Danforth. Viv was of the acting generation before mine and had taken me under her wing when I was young. She'd retired years ago, returning to her native Yorkshire to buy a converted farmhouse in Hendale, so when I learned the film would be shooting on location in the area, I called her and offered to visit. Although it had been almost 20 years since we'd last met, we immediately picked up where we left off, trading showbiz gossip and laughing at old war stories. Some changes couldn't be ignored, though. Mentally, Viv was still sharp, but physically she'd grown frail. She managed to live independently after her husband David had passed away, but I could tell it wasn't easy, especially with a dog to look after.